like one of the things that happened for me last year and for Deb when we were doing the course is slightly ironic, doing a course on self-care. And afterwards, I had a like major crash and burn. So we'd really put ourselves out there. It was really the self-care blueprint was our one of our biggest successes for last year. We reached a whole bunch of women, and we put our like really put our hearts into it, and it was an amazing course. But afterwards, I was really excited, thinking, "Whoa, what's next? What's next?" Now I'm going to move on to something even bigger. But what I found was it was kind of like I had this huge learning curve. It was almost euphoric, and then I just crashed and burned. And for some time, I actually was beating myself up about it. I was like, come on, like you've just had this amazing experience. Like you've got to move on to what's next. And then there's the fear like, well, now the bar's been raised. Now I've achieved this. Now I have to make something bigger. Do you have any experiences that you can share similar to that?
I was just thinking when you were saying that, it's almost like this, you need to take this creative shavasana. It's like at the end of your yoga class, you've done all the work, and then you take that 5 minutes at the end to really just sink into the stillness and actually feel it. And I felt like that when you were explaining that. It feels like, you had this huge peak, and then there was no point where you were refueling and re-nourishing yourself so that you could bring that same level of energy or more to the next project. But yeah, I definitely, I've had plenty of experiences like that, and I tend to be constantly looking towards the next thing or the next project that I can sink my teeth into. But really this year has taught me, and starting a business and having it all happen very quickly for me has taught me that I need to slow down, and there's no need to rush, and everything will be done in good time, and constantly bringing it back to how am I feeling right now? Am I feeling stressed? Am I feeling like I've got this under control? And just constantly checking in with my body.
So that sounds like a process and also developing a trust in yourself. Is that?
Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Because I think it's sometimes if you're starting off a business or getting into a business, it can be you can get those expectations you constantly are putting on yourself. Like I've got to make this work. I've got to work harder. I have to do more, and that just brings up a whole lot of resistance on its own. And I think, from what I'm learning, has really just been to work hard, but trust in the process and trust that you're doing everything that you can. And then, taking that time to kind of step back and relax and be kind to yourself. So if you're having a tough day, like sometimes we do need to push on, and sometimes we just need to be like, okay, I do that. Sometimes I'll just take half a day off and just, okay, my creativity is squelched. I need to go up and go to the beach or grab a juice or...
Yeah, you're so right. It's just that constant reminder that we are not our work, which I think it's when you're passionate about what you do, it's really easy to confuse the two, but just detaching from that and saying, I am not my work, I'm not my business. I am the human being that needs to refuel and re-energize constantly. Otherwise I can't bring the kind of energy I need to clients or however people are working in what capacity. I think, for me, it's just giving myself permission to step back from that and emotionally detach from that. And I think particularly as women, we give everything, and we just wrap all our identity up in the work that we do. So permission's a big thing, I know, in my life, and definitely with the clients I work with. It's allowing ourselves to say, you know what, I'm not, like you just said, I'm not feeling it this afternoon. Why don't I take the afternoon off and actually allow myself that time without any guilt or expectation? Why don't I do that knowing that the energy I can bring to this tomorrow will be so much stronger because I've had that time to refill my cup.
Yeah. And so do Do you have any like self-care goals or things that you, I mean, for me, my big one this year is that my husband and I are going to have a holiday because
Yeah.
we have not had a getaway, just the two of us, because we've got kids.
Yeah.
We haven't had a getaway literally, honestly, for years.
Mhm.
And last year I was saying, babe, like we need to like get away. And he's like, yes, yes, yes. And now I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to make it happen. And so that's one of my big things for this year. And then I have, I have my little things that I fit in everywhere. And I've started dance classes, which is something that I've wanted to do for 5 years, but I haven't been in the dance studio for quite a while. So that's a huge passion of mine. What plans have you got this year?
Plans do I have? Well, I'm actually going away for a month next month, which is a belated honeymoon from I got married last year. So that will be the ultimate month of self-care, and it's a really beautiful celebration for what has been a very busy start to the year. As far as on a weekly or monthly level, I factor in things like I have kinesiology quite regularly, so I'll generally go through and do maybe a month of kinesiology and then space it out a bit more. But that's one thing that really, really works for me, just unblocking stale energy and unlocking old limiting beliefs and things like that. So I find that is a form of self-care. Going for weekend, taking myself off email, off technology, turning my phone off or leaving it at home and just going for a drive, being in nature on a Saturday or Sunday is something that I really love doing with my husband. And there's so much actually when I come to think of it. It's just it really is the little things that I try and incorporate. So getting out every single day, because I work from home, it can be very easy to sit in my little capsule here and not get outside, but I'm really conscious of it feels like it's like you're in a little work bubble and no time to switch off. So every single day I'll get outside and put my feet in the earth and take a few deep breaths and look at what's going on outside and realize that I'm a person in the world. I'm not a worker that's in my little work bubble.
Awesome.
That's a big one for me, definitely.
And do you schedule like these activities, or is it more of like an intuitive process for you?
It's a bit of both, actually. For the stuff that needs to be scheduled, so obviously appointments and things, kinesiology I will schedule in. Going outside, it's just become a habit. It's just like exercising daily. It's become something that I will hit a point in my day and go, right, it's time for me to go outside now. So I guess in a way the intention is set, so that's a form of scheduling. I will block out some white space in my calendar as well, which is something that I was taught late last year, something that I never really did when I was working full time and coming home and then blogging most nights and all weekend was actually block out some space that's really just a free space for whatever I feel like doing that day. So I do that every week. I will have I'll just work around my coaching clients and block out generally about 2 hours, an hour or two, just to have some time for me.
Some white space or whatever.
White space. It's good.
Okay, so let's just finish with say with a tip that you could give to someone who has their own business going, things are going really well, and they reach some kind of crisis point and it's, too late for the preventative stuff. What advice would you give for someone who's, kind of stuck in that crisis mode?
I've got a few things, actually. One would be ask for help. I think, we hesitate asking for help, but even just hiring a virtual assistant for an hour or two a week makes such a big difference to get you out of your inbox or out of your admin, whatever form that takes. I think once we do that, it also you feel supported, and you can use your inspiration for the stuff that you really love doing and use your talents that way. So definitely asking for help. Getting still as well. So and everyone's different on this, but I'm a big journaler. I tend to work myself out if I write it down, and will work myself out through an outpouring on a page. So getting still, taking a few breaths and just writing down. And generally I will ask myself a few questions and I'll actually write them out and answer them on the page. And one of them is, if I'm feeling overwhelmed and I've got so much on my plate and I'm stressed and freaking out that I'm not going to get it done in time, I ask, am I doing this out of fear or love? And to me, that's really, really powerful. It brings me back to a point of being, perspective, a point of presence as well. And then I'll take it one step further from there and just say, what am I looking for approval for? Can I approve of myself without seeking it externally? Yeah. So it's just giving yourself a mini coaching session, I guess.
Nothing like a bit of self-coaching.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great tip. Thanks, Rachel. Okay, well, it's been really great to have you here today, and looking forward to connecting some more in May before you go away to Italy.
Before I start eating pizza and drinking beautiful wine.
Yum. Okay, awesomeness. Thank you so much. Oh, just finishing off, where can we find you? What's your site?
So you can find me at inspacesbetween.com.
Okay, and what about, is that the same for Facebook? Facebook.com
so I'm /InSpacesBetween. And on Twitter, I'm still going by my maiden name, which is Rachel McGahey, which is Magahy. So, but all the links are on my website anyway, so you can click there.
Hook you up.
Yeah.
All right, thanks.
Yeah, I'd love to. Thank you so much.
Bye.